Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Peachy and this channel is all about my Sylvanian families collection. For today's video I wanted to show you the large scene I've set up for spring, and I had a few ideas of what I wanted to do and I ended up combining two of those themes together. So I've gone with Sylvania in bloom with lots of flowers and pastel colours, and also Easter with lots of Easter themed activities going on all across the village. So what you're watching now is a quick overview of the whole scene, and then we'll go in and take a closer look at all the details and I'll talk you through what I've done. So starting off going left to right, here is the mayor's house. You can see the mayor and mayoress up on the balcony there. They've decorated their house with lots of colourful bunting and these Easter decorations and these big lawn decoration eggs. And they are holding an Easter egg hunt for the children. So I've got a sign for that. I'll just show you that there. And I figure in my village this happens annually, and the mayor just really loves to celebrate all the kind of seasonal events. I've added this new fence to his garden. I think it just really adds to making it look more like a garden at the end of the street. They've got their archway, and I've switched out all of the flowers for these more kind of pastel spring flowers. And these are from the Rose Garden Tea Party set. You can see the little ducklings there watching on, and then there's lots of children in the garden running around looking for Easter eggs, which aren't very well hidden, but let's pretend they're a bit more hidden than they are. I've got these cute little doll's house baskets for them to collect their eggs in. This sheep brother here is having a good look behind there. And the sheep babies back here are desperately trying to get onto that bench so they can get the little stash of eggs up there. So this one's trying to climb up, and this is Emmerdale, and she's cheering him on, like, go on, you can get them. And then moving along from the mayor's house, we're coming onto the main high street. You can see the bunting runs all the way along. And I've used these, they're just clear straws to hold it up so I could have it running across the street, which I thought looked really cool. I figured in like the actual village, this side of the street wouldn't just be open, it would have other buildings. So these straws are in place of those other buildings that the bunting would be kind of strung up to. So first we've got the marmalade bears, and they're out for a stroll and with their two little toddlers. And then in the back we've got the village store. So they're still selling vegetables like they were last season, but they have also moved over to selling some spring flowers. You can see the sign there says fresh flowers to sale. Mr. Paddington is there talking to the Babblebrook brother. If I just pop him out of the scene a minute, you'll be able to see the flowers a little bit better. There's some daffodils, some tulips, and some of these are Sylvanian and some of them are doll's house flowers. Pop him back in. And then coming into the foreground, we've got the Flare flower cart, and that's run by Mrs. Cottontail. And her little toddler is here trying to help, but he's trying to reach the gardening tools in the bucket and his arms are just a little bit short. She's got some seeds for sale and then more lovely colourful flowers. And then coming along again, we can see the Flora rabbits out for a stroll, and they are just perfect for spring with these pastel colours, and they just look great on this scene, I think. And here we've got a sign for the flower festival going on, so that's called Sylvania in Bloom, and it's basically all things flower and gardening. In the background we still have the dressmakers, and Cecile Butterglove is greeting Mrs. Marmalade there, so that's the Marmalade grandparents. And Grandpa Marmalade has sat himself on the bench while his wife goes into the dressmakers, and he's also bought her a lovely bouquet of flowers. Also in these shops we've got some little just Easter egg decorations in the windows. Then we have the Japanese flower shop, or flower stand, and that's run in my village by the Shiba Inus. And you can see Mr. Shiba Inu there helping the Evergreen sister to buy some flowers, and then his two little toddlers are investigating this new stock that needs putting onto the shelves. In the background there we've got PC Bobby Roberts and the Wildwood children. And then right in the back there we've got Mr. Eric Reynard, and he always seems to get the job of putting up the bunting. So that's what he's doing with his ladder, he's just finishing off. And then coming into the foreground again we have the Thistlethorn mouse father and son, and they've obviously been doing some shopping. He's got all manner of bits there, some strawberries, some flowers, some firewood, and his son is on his own bike and they're just out for a ride as well. Then we have the Evergreen children, and just here we have a decorate your own Easter egg table. So you can see the children there decorating. They've got lots of paints and art supplies, but the Neptune otter toddler's egg has fallen on the floor, so they're like, oh no, and all the other children on the table are like, uh-oh, hope it hasn't broken. It should be fine. And coming along to the end of the street we've got the post office and the florist shop, and they have been decorated. The stock at the florist shop has been slightly expanded for the season, so I've taken some of the things from the Blooming Flower shop from the Town series and added them to this building. So that's what Grandma Wildwood is looking at there. And then here is May Blossom with her florist cart, and again I filled it with stock from the Blooming Flower shop, as I thought the colours and the style of flowers was a little bit more spring-like. And then in the background we've got the bakery, and in the window I've tried to select as many bunny shaped colourful snacks as I can to make it more seasonally appropriate. And then, as per usual, on top of the bakery in this space is a little art class going on. So you can see the sign there, it's for making an Easter bonnet with Roxy Reynard. And it looks like the class is just starting, and Roxy's starting to instruct all these villagers on how to make an Easter bonnet. And they've got lots of nice spring pastel colour fabric and laces and buttons and trims and things to do that with. I've also used or reused the idea of having some kind of foliage on the floor. So this is again potpourri, but it's in kind of pinks and whites to represent kind of like, I was thinking, cherry blossoms. What I'd really like to do is get some trees, so like a nice big tree to go in there and maybe along the end of the other table. But I haven't been able to get around to doing that, so at the moment it's just there are trees around, there's evidence of it from the blossoms, but the trees themselves aren't on the scene at the moment. And then that's the main back table, and then coming down onto my desk, or the side table as I like to call it. So we've got some little steps here that I stole from the mole house, and I thought they are nearly a good size for getting up and down. What I'd like to do is make some custom steps to go here to bridge the gap between the tables, but that is a kind of future project. And there's more Easter eggs hidden on this scene, and you'll see that in a minute. So this is if you remember from the Christmas scene, if you watch that video, then this is the same kind of layout. We've got the community centre over here, and we've got the lake that was frozen over but is now thawed out for spring. And we've also got, instead of the little Christmas village, we've got a marquee set up. So there's lots of children milling around, and that's because the Easter egg hunt is also on over here. You can see the cake bread brother here with his little basket, and there's more, and we'll get to them. So in here there's 2 art classes going on. There's make an Easter basket, so they're weaving there. You can see Mrs. Evergreens is nearly done, and she's filling it with some decorative kind of linings. And then Mr. Dale is getting there, he's nearly finished. Mr. Marguerite hasn't started yet, and he is looking to Mr. Dale to be kind of like, oh, how did you get started? I'm a little bit confused. And then over on the other table, it's make an Easter bunting. So here we've got little baskets full of different shapes and things that can be put onto the bunting, and everyone's working together to set that up. I thought, since I don't enjoy making the buntings at all, hence why I've strung pom-poms onto a string this time, as it was much quicker and faster, maybe the Sylvanians could make the buntings for me, so I've set them to work. You can see Mrs. Dale there, Mrs. Marguerite, and also Belinda Bright Eyes. I'd originally bought these little kind of, they're actually table confetti. I'd originally bought them to make buntings a bit like I did with Halloween, but I just couldn't face the hours it takes to stick all the little bits of confetti, so I ended up using this pom-pom idea instead in these lovely pastel colours, as it was just much quicker. A little bit of blossom up on the roof there. And then coming along out of the marquee, we can move to the lake. And I got these, they're like rocks that you would put in like a fish tank or an aquarium, and I thought they were quite a good size for framing the lake. I liked how they looked. I thought it just blended the water into the grass a little bit better. So we've got lots of children around the edge of the lake looking for Easter eggs. You can see the Dale sheep sister in the back there, and she's sure there's got to be one behind this swing. What she hasn't noticed is next to little baby latte cat, there's one right there, and he's nearly sat on it and gone, oh, what's that? Oh, it's an egg. Then we've got lots of flowers in the background and more of that same fencing again that I used around the mayor's house. I just think it really adds to the scene and kind of blends the sky into the grass a bit better. We've got the moss reindeers here, we've got the latte cats, the cottontail rabbits. There's the Marguerite rabbit's sister, and she's marvelling at how many eggs they've managed to collect so far. And then out on the lake, so we've got the Marguerite brother here, and he's doing a spot of fishing. And 2 of the little babies here are looking in his bucket to see how many fish he's caught, and he's got a couple in there. Then we've got the swan boats, and we've also got, I think her name is Ingrid Blackberry, out in her boating set. I thought this set looked really good for spring, like the colours are really nice and just fit in with the theming. There's blossom on the water as well. And then over here we've got the swan boats, and one of the Easter eggs has managed to find its way into floating on the water. And the latte cat brother here is desperately trying to reach it from his swan boat, and the cake bread brother is cheering him on. His little brother is watching there, and their dad is shouting, please be careful, do not fall in the water, get back in the boat, what are you doing? And then moving across from the lake is the final piece of the scene, and this is the old Tomy school building, but I have it set up as a community centre in my village, as I've got a different school, and that's got bunting all around it. There's some more eggs hidden around here, and some more of the large decorative eggs as well. And then in the foreground we've got a maypole and some maypole dancers, and lots of the sisters are gathered round as they want to have a go next. And there's the cottontail brother back there with his Easter basket. He's on his way to pick up that little purple egg that's hidden under that planter. And yes, that's my scene for spring for 2024. I haven't actually done a spring Easter kind of scene before. I planned to do one last year, and then real life kind of got quite busy and I never got around to it, so it was nice to be able to put into practice some of the ideas I've had for that and also think up some new ones. The next scene I'd like to do will be themed around summer most likely, and I think I'm going to completely redo the back table and I'm hoping to make kind of like a beach scene. So we'll see if that comes to fruition later on in the year. But that's all for today's video. Let me know which part of the scene is your favourite, and are you setting up anything for your Sylvanians for spring or Easter? Let me know in the comments. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time. Bye bye for now.